The college football experience, Syracuse Orangemen 2025 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code TCESGPN. And remember, as always, folks, too, let it ride.
Hey everybody, Joe Theismann here. You're listening to SGPN. So do this, let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. Syracuse Orangemen 2025 season preview episode. Hey, what a year! A year ago it was with Fran Brown, who I got to talk to a little bit at ACC Media Days, and 10-win season. You go out and hire Fran, who brought in a great coaching staff with him, with Jeff Nixon and Elijah Robinson, and just boom, 10-3 out the gate. And yeah, I mean, they're rolling. I mean, when you think about it, they were pretty damn close to just one loss all year. Cause here's what's hilarious. So yeah, you got your ass whooped at Pitt. Remember he threw Honda McCord threw like 7 interceptions or something, whatever it was, looking like Ty Detmer back in the day. 41-13, you lost to Pitt, but man, you lost at home to Stanford week 3 in a game you almost won, and you lost at Boston College and Chestnut Hill by 6. You damn near almost went 12-1 on the season. Phenomenal first year for Fran Brown and company, and we'll see, because this year they lose a lot of that production, but we'll see, because I believe the guy can coach football, man. And by the way, well, I'll talk about it in a second. You're probably wondering who the hell you're listening to. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink, and I don't have stress, and I'm healthy.
He's the kind of guy that would drink a gallon of gasoline so he could piss in your campfire. You could drop this guy off at the Arctic Circle wearing a pair of bikini underwear without his toothbrush, and tomorrow afternoon he's going to show up at your poolside with $1 million smile and a fistful of pesos.
Yes, yes, yes. Syracuse, rich program. When you think about the greats that have played at the University of Syracuse, I don't know why they're not more resourced, to tell you the truth. Larry Zonka, Jim Brown, Ernie Davis, Joe Morris. Shit, running back you. Robert Drummond, remember him? And then obviously, Donovan McNabb, Dwight Freeney, Marvin Harrison, Art Monk. Oh yeah, I'm forgetting some. They have a great tight end from back in the day too. I'm drawing a blank on. But yeah, they have a shit of great play. They have a shit ton of great players, and hey, Fran Brown is the man to revive it. You saw it in year 1. This guy means business. He knows how to coach football. And just to let you know, White Tiger did commit. But look, White Tiger, he likes Fran Brown. He wants to play for Fran Brown. We'll see. We'll see if someone can flip him. Because we got to do something about that stadium. But we'll talk about that in a bit. YouTube.com/The College Experience. Breaking down all 136 teams in the land. We just finished Clemson preview. Go check out. We're like 124 episodes into this thing right now. So, or maybe even 126. So check out all the other episodes out there. We also have we had a great week 0, just absolutely killing it. ATS. Also, we just did a reaction show for week 0, so check it all out, because we got football. Syracuse, the Orangemen playing in Atlanta against the Vols. in the next week. So within the next week, let's get to the slideshow though. No one wants to stare at my dumb face for this long. Boom, right there. Syracuse Orangemen turning that corner last year, and it was all about Fran Brown. Big fan of Fran Brown. I mean, former Western Carolina. I know Weehawk will say, hey. It's a guy that played corner at Western Carolina back in the day. Go Cats! But also played in the NFL for the Cincinnati Bengals. And I think part of the allure of Fran Brown is not only is he a good recruiter, he's a guy that strikes me, at least from my encounter with him and talking to him and stuff, was like just a guy that he's going to do what he says and he's not going to bullshit you. And I think that's why White Tiger committed there. But he coached at Temple under Matt Rule, coached at Baylor under Matt Rule, Greg Schiano at Rutgers, and then Kirby Smart at Georgia. So he's got to see from some great head coaches how to build this thing. I think that's why they were 10-3 a year ago. He came right in and hit the ground running. Let's see if he can see. It's going to be hard to go 10-3 again, because I can tell you this: the schedule is much harder. But I think just if he can continue to turn this program, you saw them land a 5-star recently at the wide receiver position out of Florida. So we'll see how it goes there. But it's easy to see a tide turn, and I think Fran Brown's the man that turned it back to when Syracuse. I don't understand it. Syracuse, how do you not have any money? Get your shit together. You're Syracuse, all right? The offense a year ago under Jeff Nixon, which I was alluding to. How about this? 21st in the nation in scoring offense, first in pass offense, 125th in rush offense, and 7th in total offense. Damn, comes right in. And gives them a top 10 offense. I'm with Daniel Cady. How the hell was this guy not coach of the year? Who'd they give it to again last year? How the hell was it not Fran Brown? Yeah. He really is, like, that's an incredible first year for Jeff Nixon. Now, like I said, they had Kyle McCord, who had been sent out in Columbus, and he had a great year. And he also had a Rondé Gadsden and a few other guys that are major contributors that are no longer on this roster. But they only return one starter on offense. One damn starter on offense. That is crazy to me. And a lot of that, from what I understand, and if someone's closer to the Syracuse program, let me know. But from what I understand, some of that is portal related. Now, some of that is they just went to the NFL and they graduated, like McCord and Gadsden and a few others. But they did lose a slew of guys in the portal. And from what I understand, some of that is NIL related. I could be wrong about that, but to give you an idea, Trevor Penna, the star wideout from a year ago, is now at Penn State. They also lost Reed, their offensive lineman, to USC. Wallaball, an offensive lineman, to Virginia. I'm not sure if that one was as catastrophic, but how about Murad Watson on the D line to Texas? These were some major hits. I think SMU came in and grabbed a corner too, if memory serves me correct. So they did take some major hits on the team, and from what I understand, that's NIL related. So only returning one offensive starter is bleak. So they did hit the portal though, and they stayed aggressive, saying, "Hey, we built this team last year a little bit on the portal." Kyle McCord coming in from Ohio State. So let's see if we can find that again. They go out and get Steve Angeli, remember, played so well in the college football playoffs with Notre Dame. They get Ricky Collins from LSU. Those are two quarterbacks. Angeli has been named the starter from what I understand, but it was a tight race from what I understand. Wide receiver Jonte Cook from Washington. That's one that I think we should circle that one, because you think about Washington's wideouts over the past few years. That one could be a sneaky good get, and they still have Justice Ross Simmons, the Colorado State transfer, who was out all last year. They also bring in Tyshawn Russell from South Carolina at the receiver spot. and then absolutely load up on the O-line, bringing in Bertrand from Alabama, Cam Pringle. Once you pop, you can't stop from South Carolina. Austin Collins from Louisville. Zach Rice from North Carolina. TJ Ferguson from Florida State. Yeah, unbelievable. And Rob Donaldson saying Fran Brown wasn't even a finalist. Yeah, see, that's ridiculous to me. I can't help but think that I can't help but think the obvious fucking thing. I mean, I know Freeman's on that list. That's what someone would say, but somebody explain to me how he's not on that list. Somebody please explain to me. That's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. I mean, that's a lot of guys. I'm curious to see. The wideout room might be better than what we think coming into the season. And Jelly, if he can play like he did in the playoffs, but once again, you had Notre Dame's offensive line. I don't know, man. It's tricky. You almost think you need a better run game this year too, so you can control the clock a little bit. But we'll see, because defensively. So hold on, let me just answer myself this question. They will not be a top 7 offense this year. I think Jeff Nixon's a fantastic coach, but I don't think they'll be anywhere fucking close to 7th. The schedule's a lot harder. The fact you only return 1 starter, this might be the biggest drop off the other way. We talked about Clemson's defense just an hour ago. Will jump up a lot. This will be the other one. So, shout out to It's Eric in the chat. Yeah, you can get a lot of them on the SGPN app, man. I don't think I filled out all of them yet, but you can get a lot of them on the SGPN app. Also, I was a guest on the Too Deep podcast where we talked about that. Some of my best plays. But yeah, shout out to Jeff Nixon doing a great job, but no way. I expect major regression, and no one should give him any shit, even with that. Now the defensive side of the ball, Elijah Robinson was the A&M interim head coach at one point. I think he did a pretty good job year one, considering these numbers aren't on fire. 96 on scoring defense, 82nd at pass defense, 69th in rush defense, charting at the 78th best defense in the country. And you look back. Now this one's an interesting thing because they returned 3 starters in McDonald at the linebacker spot, and then Grant and Chestnut in the secondary, and then punter Jack Stonehouse is back as well. But this one is intriguing because they bring in a bunch of guys. And first off, they have a few guys. It's always hard nowadays to deem what defines a returning starter, because they got some guys that started 3-4 games. But that doesn't qualify. To me, it's like if you play half the year or more, or I tend to think like 7 starts is where I normally do it, unless they were like all conference. But they hit the portal big time defensively. David Reese comes in from Cal. This is a guy that's projected to start. George Rooks from Boston College projected to start. Chris Thomas from Marshall. They won a Sun Belt championship last season. And then the linebacker spot, Gary Bryant from South Dakota. They keep a good program with the Coyotes there. Fran Brown Jr. from St. Francis. And then Chris Peel from Georgia, a corner. Obviously, Fran Brown's connection to Georgia, probably the difference there. And then kicker, Trip Woody. Reminds me of like a character in like Revenge of the Nerds. Yeah, you think it's easy going to school being a nerd when every day at lunch you run into Trip Woody? Trip Woody, I don't think is going to start, by the way. I think they're going to go with their kicker Jackson Kennedy from a season ago. But look, I think the defense will be similar / slight. I'm going to say a step back. Actually, I don't think it'll be 78th. I think a lot of it has to do with, I don't think the offense will be able to move the ball as much, and the schedule is so much harder, which we'll get to in a second here. So I'm going to say they're going to step back in both areas. But don't overreact and can one of these coaches are good. But we're going to talk about the schedule in a second. We'll talk about the state of the program. But before I do that, I want to let you know that the Syracuse Orangemen 2025 season preview episode is brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every single sport right now. I mean, shit. We were close. NFL preseason, college football week 0. We bet the hell out of that. CFL, man, I made a bunch on the Stamps this past weekend and the Argonauts. So MLB action. How about what the Padres did to the Dodgers the other day? Golf, tennis, racing, WNBA. I mean, everything, right? MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of different locations as well. So even outside of the States, you can easily deposit and get lightning fast payouts using crypto. So head on over to mybookie.ag. And when you do use our promo code TCESGPN for a 50% deposit match up to $1,000. Once again, terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Yes, college football is back on Rhythm. Rhythm's going to get you, folks. Last season, Rhythm's predictive models had a 22% ROI on non-conference spreads. They killed it on FCS totals as well. And let me tell you, week 0 and week 1 last year, Rhythm was 16-4 ATS. That was up 11.6 units. Whew. And don't forget, Rhythm also has NFL, MLB, golf, WNBA. So what are you doing? Go to the app now and make your own model since these predictions are live, folks. Yeah, get your free 7-day trial period today. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. All right, we are back. Chats, come be a part of the chat. YouTube.com/the college experience. Jack Stonehouse is a great football name, says Sam. Yeah, remember, reminds me of there was a great linebacker for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in the 80s named Michael Stonebreaker. It's one of my all-time favorite names. That and the Chicago Bears. And I believe the Illinois Fighting Illini had a tight end named Cap Bozo. And that would, to me, that's my other nickname besides Pick Dundee. If you search, I'm known as Cap Bozo. But if I was a rapper, I think I would be Cap Bozo as well. It's a great name. Kind of like Tree Rollins. That would be another one that I think is worthy of it. But anyway, look, state of the program. What the hell are we talking about? Jack Stonehouse, hell of a good guy. See what happens, you guys? I don't have my co-host here to get me on track. And I start thinking about shit. I start going down these rabbit holes of rappers' names, all this other stuff. People don't know this, that Busta Rhymes, the legendary rapper who was once a part of the leaders of the new school there, it was named after the Oklahoma quarterback, Busta Rhymes, in the 80s. A lot of people don't know that. See, college football is everywhere, folks. It's everywhere. But look, part of the episode here is state of the program. All right. State of the program is a real thing. And I think Fran Brown brought new life to this program, and instantly they got like Buddy Ryan said, you got yourselves a winner, right? I think they got the guy for the job. You saw him landing some big time recruits. I've heard the way he talks about what he wants to do. He's from the Northeast and, grew up in Jersey. He's got White Tiger committed there. I think the momentum around the program is very, very, very exciting. But what is not exciting is your stadium. Oh shit. Did I fuck this up? There we go. The Carrier Dome, 45 years young. Eek. Well, look, I'm giving this a 1 of 10. I know the chat was shitting on the fact that I don't have air condition. It's just tough to me. You had Archbold Stadium before, which was one of the greatest stadiums in the history of college football, in my opinion, and you destroyed that for this Carrier Dome nonsense. And that was pivotal. And I actually did a deep dive. I did a deep dive on this, and the program's win percentage has gotten much worse. The program has gotten much worse since you've gotten a dome. And I actually did a deep dive on a lot of these. Like I even did NFL teams, and like I think every single team. I think the only one that I could really find an example of was where they got better was the Saints. Their win percentage got better. And that was because they had such a short shelf life prior to that, I think. But this is your advantage, is the fact because you talk to these bozos, a lot of them saying, "Well, we're in Syracuse, New York. You can't you can't play outdoors." Well, no, they did for a long fucking time. And also, you know who else plays outdoors? Boston College, Yukon, Maine, Army, Buffalo, the Buffalo Bills, the New York Giants, New York Jets, Minnesota Vikings. I mean, sorry, not Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Golden Gophers, Green Bay Packers. So I'm not buying this angle of it gets too cold up there. Also, the whole fucking CFL. Yes, the CFL season most years ends in late November, the same time college football regular season ends. So I am not buying into this nonsense. All right, not buying it. You destroyed a classic stadium for a cheap bullshit stadium. And let's just look at what you had. This is what you had. Archbold Stadium. Absolutely phenomenal. You should have renovated this thing. Unbelievable. The history. Jim Brown played here. Art Monk. Everybody. Larry Zahn. I mean, so many greats played here. And we destroyed this thing. It just, it really, really bothers me. You look at what this was a gold mine. They destroyed this in what 1980, I think it was, or 79 or 78. Just a fucking gem that had tons of personality. And then they go to this. You kidding me? Goddamn roller rink. Yeah. I think this is a terrible stadium. Yeah, I mean, I'm just waiting for them to take the. They should redo Archbold Stadium. You can design it in that fashion, all right. But they need money, all right. They need money apparently, which I find fascinating. Because can't they sell some of Boeheim's boogers that he's flicked on that field somewhere? But also they do storm though. I will give them credit. They do storm, as you see there with Honda McCord. Yeah, I mean, this place is soulless, but at least they storm. All right. And they do have some fans. Look at these guys ready to chug some. They're doing some damn beers, some damn, in the parking lot they were doing some shooters. Yeah, I'm with you, Rob Donaldson. You know me, brother. They also have this guy, right, Mr. Pink Eye. Why don't they get some of Costas's money? You would think he sucked off Jordan so much that they would have some money, right? I didn't make this, by the way. This was on the internet when I Googled Bob Costas Pink Eye because, if you've listened to Pick Dundee for a long time, I am number one in the can't stand Bob Costas part of the world here. I just classic moment here, Mr. Pink Eye. You're in a Syracuse alum. Where's his checks, Mr. Costas? Not writing your checks. Too busy eating other men's asses. What's going on here? I mean, well, God, you guys keep giving me these pink eye photos. I got to talk to the producer of this show. I'm sorry, Bob. I apologize. All right. Look, I'd love for you to be the hometown announcer of the Washington Redskins. Oh, did I say Redskins? I didn't mean to offend you, Bob. I didn't mean to offend you, you fucking pompous, smug little shit. But anyway, I apologize. I got to talk to the producer. Who put these? What do they put now? Watch now. Who farted on Bob Costas's pillow? Well, you know damn well who that was, right? Oh, come on. We know this answer. We know this fucking answer. But anyway, yeah, Bobby Costas. Anyway, cut him a check, Bobby. All right. Look, the state of the Syracuse program on the rise. I gave it a 5 of 10. And honestly, I think it's probably better. Because Fran Brown's at the helm, but you got to prove it more than 1 year. I think that's the thing that I hesitated on because I was like, man, he did land a 5-star. Syracuse hasn't had a 5-star since fucking who? Like Marvin Harrison, and they didn't even have the star system out there. But I mean, he did win 10 games. They've only won 10 games, once in the past fucking 20 years. So, but I think just because it's such a small sample size, we have to say 5. All right. Shout out to Danny Dumpshit saying some call it eating ass and some call it remembering calling the Sandberg game. Oh man. Yeah. Just classic. The guys who, how about this guy? The guys who do your basketball commentary don't know ball. Hey, El Hanna, that's me. That's me. I don't know shit, but I know this. I'm a cooler fucking person than Bob Costas. All right. Guarantee you that. All right. I'll huff paint with you. We can do whatever. All right. Do goddamn whiskeys. You know, start talking about old girlfriends. Bobby Costas, come on. What are we talking about here, folks? Let's start previewing the game. But that is me. I don't know shit about ball, apparently. That's okay, though. I can take that. I can take that one. All right. I can take that one. But I just did go 6-3 week 0. But that was football. If you're talking about basketball, I did have the Houston Cougars in the national championship. They blew an 18-point lead. So I was wrong there in that range. But anyway, let's jump into the schedule because I want to talk about the Syracuse Orangemen. Week 1, for some stupid reason, the Carrier Dome wasn't dome enough. They said, you know what? No. Should we play a game at Neyland, one of the greatest stadiums in the fucking world? No. We could do a home for home, right? Like we play one at this stupid dome. We could play another one at Neyland. It'll be nice. It'd be cool. Right? We show off our fan bases. No. Let's play this at Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta. Why? No fucking idea. Because Chick-fil-A is open on a Saturday. All right. I did appreciate that. Like if you're going to do this, you're going to do this to your fan base. At least do it because, you know, they get a Chick-fil-A at that stadium there. And they normally only play Falcons games. So you can't get Chick-fil-A on the Sundays there, which almost defeats the purpose of the Chick-fil-A even fucking being there. But this is a Saturday. Maybe Chick-fil-A is the whole reason why this game's happening. I believe Syracuse is 14.5-point dog. So I will take the Vols. But I'm not super high on the Vols this year. So I do think I will take the 14.5 points with the Orangemen. But I expect this game to go to Tennessee because Tennessee will have 90% of this crowd, which once again, why not just play it at Neyland, cut down on travel cost. You know, you're outdoors. It's a little more, it's a nice time of the year, but no Chick-fil-A open, right? Maybe that's it. Yeah, I wouldn't shock me if Syracuse won this game though. Syracuse has, you could argue, the better quarterback. Fran Brown seems to get his guys ready. I think a lot of people would say, hey, I did call for Syracuse to beat Miami last season on the money line, and I called that shit in May. But a lot of other people probably didn't have Syracuse beating Georgia Tech or NC State or UNLV or I don't know, some of the other schools they played last season. So my point is maybe Fran coaches them up and they're ready to go. But yeah, Danny Dumbshit's got a good point here. Tennessee will have 35,000 fans there, and Syracuse will have 4 guys in Pearl Washington jerseys. 100%. 100%. Donovan McNabb and his mother might be there too with goddamn Campbell's chunky soup ads, right? I could see something like that. So 0-1, unfortunately. But it wouldn't shock me if you're a Q's fan and you're looking for winnable games. I do think this one could be a little more winnable than you think. Week 2, Yukon, Jim Moore, a friend of the program, coming into the Dome. They almost got you last year. If you remember that was a game. What was that final score? I remember watching that thing. Was that last year? Yeah, it was last year. 31-24. See, the thing is this. I believe UConn is better than last year, and I believe Syracuse is worse. So I think UConn's going to get you, especially coming off the Tennessee game. I do think this is a 50-50 game. but I trust Yukon's returning production a little bit more than I do Syracuse. So give me an 0-2 start for these Orangemen, but this is certainly winnable. Week 3, Colgate, the Raiders. This is a win. Okay. You bring in these Patriot League teams, you're going to beat them down. So this will be 1-2. Would I be shocked if they were 3-0? Not necessarily. Would I be shocked at 2-1? Not at all. But I think 1-2 based off of the returning production. Then week 4, a trip to Clemson, South Carolina. This game you will lose. So I got you 1-3. 1-3. And it would be nice to have a bye week after Clemson, but instead you get the Duke Blue Devils, who I'm very bullish on this year. It is at that filthy Carrier Dome though, which, can be slippery sometimes, but I'm sorry. I have Duke beating you because I think Mensa's a baller. I think they have one of the best cornerbacks in the nation in Chandler Rivers. I think Wesley Williams on the D line will be in the NFL. I think Terry Moore at the safety spot will be in the NFL. I think there's too much returning production at Duke. I like a couple of their wideouts they brought in. And I think the O-line's going to be better this year. So I can't get there. So I got you 1-4 to start out. I will say this. I think this one, the problem is I just don't like the body below Clemson game the week before. But this is certainly on the table. I agree with you, Matt. I'd say this and Yukon are 100% on the table. But I think Duke is better than Yukon. So, and I don't like it after the Clemson game. I would have liked a bye week, then Duke. Then after this, you head to Gerald Ford Stadium in Dallas, Texas. Take on SMU's Mustangs. Eesh. If this was at the Dome, I might be inclined to take the Qs, but I will not, because I think SMU and Kyle. Why am I drawing a blank? Kevin Jennings. I almost said Kyle Jennings. Kevin Jennings, I think, is flying under the radar. Another one to consider. You're looking for a Heisman odds. I think you might be flying under the radar a little bit. So I have them with 1 win at the bye week. That's a pretty tough. How many of these teams were in the playoffs last year? So out of your first 6 games before your bye week, Tennessee playoff team, Clemson playoff team, SMU playoff team. And all 3 of those are basically road games, right? Then your home games are Yukon, who you barely beat a year ago, and Yukon returns majority of their production. And Duke, who returns a lot and got better at quarterback and on the offensive line. That's tricky. It's a tricky fucking schedule so far. You get the bye week. Look at Art Monk back in the day. And shout out to Syracuse for retiring his number. Let's go. Love Art Monk. Classic Washington Redskin. Then you come out of the bye week and you are taking on Pitt. Now, I will say, this game terrifies the fuck out of me. As someone that took a future on Pitt to make the ACC championship game, I could totally see this being the one. And since I gave them all these losses and these other ones, I could totally see this being where they get one. This could fuck up I need Pitt to come in here and win this game. But knowing Narduzzi's history, he drops 1 or 2 to teams he shouldn't. And I think this could be the one. So I will give Syracuse that second win right here. Then a trip to Bobby Dodd to take on these Yellow Jackets. How about this? Between Pitt, shout out to Talkers Pitt in the chat. Between Pitt and Georgia Tech, they'll get 1. But this is a hard schedule, man. I have Pitt and Georgia Tech are contenders in the ACC. They have yet to play the doormat in the ACC. So that would put me at what? 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 and 6. Then Chapel Bill Belichick comes up to this. You know what? I'll give you a third one. You shock Chapel Bill here, but I don't feel amazing about it. They're kind of an unknown team, but give me that third win of the season right here. Give me that third win of the season right fucking here. Then a trip to Hard Rock Stadium, filthy Hard Rock Stadium. Take on these Canes. Yeah, I got you losing this. So I got you 3-7 there. I mean, look, Cristobal, you never know. Cristobal, this is a revenge game from last year, but Cristobal is so bad, you just never know. You just never know. Then after that, they get another bye week. Shout out to the great Jim Brown. Big time fan of him in his movies. I like watching his kick-ass movies. Then a trip, you get a bye week, you go to South Bend. This fucking schedule is insane. This has to be a top 10 hardest schedule in the nation. Loss. And there's drama though. Stephen Jelly, former Notre Dame quarterback, they pushed him aside, went with the freshman CJ Carr, Lloyd Carr's grandson. So he's like, fuck you. I'm out of here. I'm going to Syracuse. Would love to see him get revenge. Then they end the season with Boston College and Chestnut Bill. I'll give you a win here, but that puts me at 5 wins. No, I'm sorry. That puts me at 4 wins, right? My wins are Colgate, Pitt or Georgia Tech, UNC, and Boston College. And I think I'm being generous. That's what's crazy. I think I'm being generous. I mean, this schedule is ridiculous. 5.5 is the win total. Oh, let's just lock this under. I can't get to 6. Lock up this under. They're plus 8,000 to win the ACC. They're plus 4,000 to make the college football playoffs. I'm with Danny Dumbshit. Let's just talk about the schedule for a second. Let's look at it from a bird's eye point of view. Tennessee playoff team a year ago. Clemson playoff team a year ago. SMU playoff team a year ago. Notre Dame playoff team. So 4 of the 12 team playoff teams from a year ago. Then Miami was basically 1 spot out of the playoffs. So you're basically getting 5 top 15 teams from a year ago. I have Duke, Georgia Tech, Pitt, and North Carolina as contenders, other than the other playoff teams. Contenders this year in the ACC. Yukon won 9 games last year and lost to you by 1 score, and they return a good chunk of that production. Boston College was a bowl team a year ago. I suspect though, I think I took them on the under, but they'll be flirting right around the same record as you, 5-7, 6-6. You have Colgate. I mean, what are we doing here? Schedule is fucking challenging. Very challenging. You play a non-con. If you throw out the FCS non-con, you play Tennessee, Yukon, and Notre Dame, and all of those teams had 9 wins or more last year. That's fucking brutal. I think you gotta lock this. I think you gotta look. I even believe that like Fran Brown will have this team so well coached that they'll steal a game or 2. But honestly, I think like we do like, what is the ceiling? What is the floor for this program this year? The floor is 1-11. Because if UConn gets you week 2 after Tennessee, you might not get another win until Boston College. And who knows if you even win that at that point. You might have guys in the pool. I don't know. I think that schedule's fucking brutal. I want to talk about the upside of the schedule. But before I do that, I do want to let you guys know that the college football experience, Syracuse Orangemen style, is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million in first place. Look, there's no waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best ball is the best way to play fantasy football, folks. And Underdog is also a great place to play pick'em, where you can win up to 500 times the amount of money you enter. So yes, Get on over to Underdog Fantasy. They got a brand new offer too for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code TCESGPN. So do that and let it ride. We're also brought to you, yes, the college football experience. Bob Costas Pink Eye Edition is brought to you by Circa Millions and Circa Survivor. Yes, the world's greatest sports book. Circa Las Vegas is hosting the world's biggest pro football contest. Circa Millions, Circa Survivor, and Circa Grandissimo with over $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Sign up in Nevada and play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com and use that promo code SGP to get $50 off those proxy fees. Contest close on September 3rd, so you want to get that shit in now. All right. Yeah, as Hummus Hero, shout out to Hummus Hero in the chat. This schedule doesn't have many gimmies. There's that's what I'm saying. Like, as much as I like Fran, it's a tough schedule. You think the upside is 7 games? 7 wins on this schedule, Daniel? So wait, let's say they upset Tennessee. Tennessee lost a lot of production, but the problem is that's gonna be that's like a road game. If they opened up Tennessee, like Yukon is gettable. That's gonna be a 1-score game probably. Colgate. If you get Tennessee, you could be 3-0. But you're not winning the next 3, in my opinion. 4, maybe you get Pitt. Maybe you get. I think the best I can see, the absolute best I can see, is 6-6. 6-6 would be the absolute best I could see this team. But I mean, that's a fucking tough schedule, man. Shout out to It's Eric. Will there be an FCS show? Yeah, we already did one. It's out right now for week 0. I mean, it's done. But there will be an FCS show. The DFS show, probably not, though. Maybe, but the numbers weren't great on that show. And so we don't know that a DFS show will be in the future there. But FCS show, yes. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like 6-6, absolute best case scenario. The win total is at 5.5. I can't build a scenario for 7 wins here. I think it's more realistic, like 3-9, 4-8, and I think I was being generous at 4-8. So, Yukon, Colgate, Duke, Pitt, UNC, but you have Miami at Miami though. I just think, I mean, they lost. They have 1 returning fucking starter on offense, man. 1 returning starter on offense. Yeah. I mean, I'm with Hummus Hero there. Wisconsin. I have like Wisconsin and Florida as the 2 hardest schedules in college football. But I'll tell you this. I think Syracuse is a top 10 hardest schedule. I do believe top 10 hardest schedule. Shout out to Dilly Daggers in the chat saying under 2.5 conference wins plus 125. That's gold right there. We should go do. I got to go do that right now. Because what? I mean, BC, because one of their wins is we might be giving them was Yukon, so they'd have to get 3. BC, maybe Carolina, and maybe Pitt. But God, I think those teams are so much better, except BC. I think the rosters are better on the other teams. It's going to be fun to watch, though. And hopefully I'm wrong, all right? Because I need Syracuse to make some money to clean Bob Costas' pink eyes and get a goddamn new stadium and start keeping your players. Let's go. Fucking Syracuse. Don't you have a bunch of money? Your alumni base is ridiculous. I don't understand. Basketball and football should be thriving. Absolutely thriving. I don't know. I think if Fran has a 4-win year like I projected, just be patient. I think the following year you're bound to be much better, especially with what you bring in talent wise. All right, so be patient with Coach Brown. White Tigers coming, and let's go, folks. That is our preview for the Syracuse Orangemen. I did put together a nice slideshow on the way out of here. We will also be back tomorrow with our college football week 1 picks for Thursday and Friday. Remember, Wednesday will be for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, since we have 5 straight days of football starting Thursday. So tomorrow you'll get us capping every single college football game Thursday and Friday. So remember that. Also, we have team previews. We have a bunch more team previews going on. All right. We got to close this thing out with a bang. Tomorrow, we'll be talking UAB Blazer football, Bowling Green Falcon football, and Kennesaw State Owls football. So buckle up. We got 4 shows slated for tomorrow. All right, folks. Subscribe to the College Football Experience. YouTube.com/the College Experience. I'm on Twitter at the Colby D. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Shout out to my friends, all these great people in the chat that I've had a glorious opportunity to meet, and the ones I haven't, I'm sure you guys are all fantastic fucking people. Even that guy told me I don't know shit about basketball. Let's go. Check out the college. Speaking of that, subscribe to the College Basketball Experience as well. iTunes, Spotify, please give us a 5-star review. Remember, all those shows come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the College Experience. Yeah, looking forward to tomorrow's action. Let's go. College football season here. 32 belly option split. Let's go. Till next time, this is the College Football Experience, Bob Costas Pink Eye Edition. You better start stinking about yours. And we out of here.
Mailbox 1. You have 7 messages.
1.
I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart my body and soul, or nothing without heart. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun my body and soul, or nothing without love. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo my body and soul, or nothing without truth. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. We're the obsession to be a part of that, started that. Mind over matter don't matter in the market. I've seen much smarter cats have heart attacks. Largely cause leaders need lambs to be lethargic. Match wits with the half-wit phantom. I don't need jumper cables or mic cords to analyze an analytical anthem. Between my 2 ears, an engine pumping the life force. Force field for your grip on the grievance. Still gonna feel unchallenged and bored stiff. So arrange the pieces to prepare cohesive. All the hard work will go largely ignored if your hands are covered with post-its and paper cuts. You need to have your voice in the vice grip. The one who made it famous ain't the one who made it up. You don't get overtime just for working the night shift.
I'm taking a pinch right now. It's like
I'm not saying I'm impossible to